Hey everyone, welcome back to the PlayStation Exhibit Hall. We are live here. I'm Meredith Molinari. I'm here with Richard and Ricky, creators of Hohokum.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good, so thank you for being with us. Now, I have to say, first, what strikes me about this game is the visual quality of it. The colors are so vibrant and bright. Talk to me about some of the inspiration behind creating this visual style of the game.
I don't know, I love colour. Weirdly, colour's not a thing that I'm naturally good at. When I first started as an artist, everything was black and white, and I had to sort of teach myself how to do good stuff with colour, just from observing stuff in real life. And I still kind of do that. I walk down the street and I see I don't know, a shop sign, and I think those colours work really well, so then I might use it in the game or something.
Yeah,
so that answers specifically about colour, but colour is really important in our game. It's a colourful game.
Absolutely, and another thing that I think I was reading is really important to you guys was to create an atmosphere that was, maybe not the norm of, video game standards where it's like, you're gonna do this and then you're gonna go here and complete this level and get this reward. It has a little more relaxed feel. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely, that's a really core value for us. It's wanting to make a game where you don't feel pressure and you don't experience constant failure, and you can just relax and chill out and enjoy it. Quite often when I play games, I like to kind of find a way, maybe I've killed all the people in a bit of a shooter, and then I just like to wander around looking at all the cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to make a game, or we want to make a game that kind of feels like that, that has that, not that you've killed a load of guys, but you've got the time and the space to just enjoy being in the place and not worry about the clock ticking down or how many lives you've got left or some puzzle that's really doing your head in. We have puzzles, but it's more just about discovering cool things, pleasant surprises. That if you just mess around and try things out and you're inquisitive, then you'll probably solve the puzzles.
Yeah. So many games feel like just kind of a list of tasks that you're constantly being asked to do, and in this game we don't want players to feel like the game's constantly asking them to do things. We want people to just enjoy being in this place. I mean, what you are in this game is quite a kind of tactile, expressive creature, and it should feel fun just to be in the space and move around.
Yeah, and it definitely has kind of a playground quality to it, where, like you said, you're not, oh, you have to beat this level to get to this bad guy to go on to the next thing. You kind of just get to be in an open world, and I think you even made a point of causing mischief sometimes. You're not always, doing the right thing.
Yeah. This level here has a kind of thing going where people are flying kites, and that actually comes out of us describing what you are as a bit like flying a kite. So the feeling of, we wanted to make a game where the way you move around the world feels a bit like you're doing a cool thing like flying a kite. And so it's almost got a creative, sort of expressive quality to the way you just move around.
Now, just so the viewers at home are with us on this is on the PS4 currently right now, what we were seeing.
Yeah.
It's also going to be available on the PS3 and on the PlayStation Vita.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Wonderful. So it's all three consoles. That's really great. Okay, so is there a narrative plot that kind of drives the character throughout the whole story?
There's not I wouldn't say there's a really strong story. The kind of thing you are, you're quite you're this sort of strange thing that's kind of alien to the world that you're moving in, and you don't speak the language of anybody, and you come into these different places, and in one place, as Ricky said, one place you might be mischievous, and in another place you might be helpful to the people who live there, like you are here, and for us it's more to do with creating a kind of convincing and cohesive world, and there is a kind of a story, and it's kind of about finding your place in that world, but I don't want to talk about it too much beyond there.
We don't want to give away all the surprises. Yeah. Talk to me a little about the music, because the music in it is really beautiful. Is it a score that was written specifically for the game?
Kind of. The music's really exciting. So we're doing a collaboration with the record label Ghostly, who've got quite a lot of artists whose work we really love, and who even before, way back when we were just making this as a prototype and it was in the IGF, before we were involved with Sony at all, we had a kind of a playlist of music that was kind of inspirational, the sort of music we thought would work for the game, and it had artists on it who were Ghostly artists. And then when we started working with Sony Santa Monica, they've got an amazing sort of music and audio department. They've got really great guys there, and they were like, yeah, we can try and actually get these guys to make the music. And we've ended up with that record label doing, their artists doing all the music. And I don't know if you've heard the music in the trailer, so that's the first bit of music from that record label.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and it's I think because it's this kind of chilled out thing where you're immersing yourself in this thing and you're playing around. I think having awesome music to accompany that is really important.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You touched a little bit on the subject of joining up with Sony Santa Monica. And now, as an indie developer, was there a certain level of nervousness going into that relationship? Were you really excited? How did you guys get together, and did that relationship help flourish the game?
Well, we knew their work really well. Like, we already have massive respect for a lot of the games that they'd made at the time we started talking to them. So, like, we already knew that we were pretty much talking to the right people. And the early conversations were just, they were just so supportive of the kind of thing we were trying to make. You know, we're trying to make quite a strange thing that's, you know, and we really didn't want the people we make the game with to try and break that. We wanted people to, the partner we worked with, to be true to the spirit of what we're trying to make.
Yeah.
And at no point did we ever feel like, yeah, they're going to try and change this and turn it into something more video gamey. Like,
yeah. In fact, it's the opposite. Sometimes we've had ideas for things which are quite kind of, which are moving away from it being such a kind of, I don't know how you describe it, arty. I hate the term arty, but you know what I mean. And they've almost said no. You know, they really want to protect that vision, and you can see what they've done with, like, you know, the That Game Company games and games like, you know, like Detour and Lingering Shadows, you know, and the Giant Sparrow game.
Yeah.
You know,
Unfinished Swans,
Unfinished Swans.
Yeah.
They've set their stall out for supporting kind of interesting, creative visions with games, and so I reckon they're the perfect people. I think if you asked most indies, they'd be well into it, I think. Yeah.
That's great, and I think it's what's really inspiring probably to other indie developers is seeing how well a game like this, which is very different than any other games that are out there, is actually being supported by such a big name like Sony Santa Monica Studio, and it makes probably the other indie developers be a little less nervous moving forward. Now, you talked a little about the fact that this is also going to be available on PS Vita, and we were talking about Frobisher Says, how that was like so involved with all the different Vita features. So are we going to be able to use like touch screens and
definitely. Yeah. So you've been playing around. I don't think there's anything happening. Is there stuff happening in the Vita build now?
There's some touch screen stuff,
so
but there'll be a ton more.
Yeah.
The nice thing about Hohokum is because you know, there's no way in Hohokum that you can cheat. It's not like you can gain some kind of unfair benefit by using the touch screen as well. So it's totally fine to let players like interact with things by touching them instead of, say, flying past them or bumping into them. It works really well.
Like, can you go down like these? There's stuff that happens like this kind of it's just stuff reacting to you.
Yeah.
And maybe that stuff could react to your finger on the rear touch instead of, I don't know. Yeah.
That's cool. It just has a beautiful, like, simplistic, vibrant quality to it. In a lot of ways, it reminds me of that, you know, Sound Shapes, where that has a very relaxed but immersive feel to the world. You know, where you just get a playground to kind of move around in. And it seems like you even have more freedom in this game to really play around and just kind of discover what's around you. All right, so any word on a release date? Know when it's going to come out?
What are we saying?
2014.
2014?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us a closer look at Hohokum.
Yeah.
We're going to take a look at a trailer right now.
Okay, cheers.